Hello and welcome to Wewealth Women, where I help women to learn to be confident, manage their finances, and live their best goddess life. If you're new here, my name is Athena. I am the CPA and founder of Wewealth Women, where I help women live their best selves. Now, today is a topic of discussion that we need to have, right? And I'm super excited about this because every woman needs to know the things that I'm discussing today, which is how to have goddess level confidence, right? And confidence is a thing that we struggle with. Confidence is a thing that we need to learn how to manage and deal with as women. So I want to give you guys some actionable tips and to give you a high level understanding of what you need to know when it comes to your confidence. Why is confidence key? It is key because it is going to be the catalyst to catapult you into the goddess that you need to be, the woman you need to be, to get the things that you want, the relationship you want, the money that you want, the experiences you want. All of that is going to come from your self-perception and your confidence, right? If you're joining us, be sure to like, follow, and subscribe, honey, and follow us at We Wealth Women. The first thing I want us to focus on when it comes to let's run some statistics on this, right? So what I want you to look at is, let me take this side out. Some statistics on this is nearly 80% of women struggle with low self-esteem, which hinders their ability to advocate for themselves in the workplace or just in general, right? This is not just exclusive to the workplace. And then only 3.4% of women globally rated their confidence from a 9 to 10 out of 10. What does that mean? 96% of us not operated on a 9 on a 10. 96% of us are not confident, right? So we are not even living to the full extent of ourselves. We are not even living to the best level that we can as women, right? And the reason why we're not is because we are insecure. We have insecurities, and we need to address those insecurities and look at ourselves. Look at the woman that you are in the mirror. You see how this girl looking at herself in the mirror? That is what you need to do, and to address those insecurities. But before we even go into how do we address insecurities, how do we overcome what is holding us back from our confidence, where does confidence even really come from? We have to understand, why are you insecure in the first place? What is really causing this insecurity within us in the first place? And what is causing that insecurity within us in the first place is really comparing ourselves and interacting with people, right? Our interactions with people over time has indoctrinated us and has brought these beliefs in us to make us feel insecure, right? What do I mean by that? When you were a child, you was fresh from the womb, honey. You just came through. If you notice, children before their parents and society and rules and regulations, they're carefree. They're not really concerned with how they look, right? They're wearing their mixed match clothes. They're not really operating in any thinking that sorry, that is rigid. They're not operating in any thinking that is rigid. They're not operating in any thinking that they need to be anything. They're not operating in any of that, right? And then we come into this world, and over time, the children, we become insecure. We become insecure. We become insecure because as we are engaging with people in human nature, our desire to be loved, our desire to belong, has us looking at everyone, and then we assess ourselves. We assess whether or not we fit in with everyone. We assess whether or not people are pleased with us. And depending on, and there is no perfect person. So you're gonna find something about you that is against this norm, that does not fit in, and that creates the insecurity. That creates insecurity within you, because you will never be able to fully reconcile every single thing about you that will either, one, be in line with popular standard or with even your surroundings, and then two, there is no such thing as perfection. So you will never fit an ideal of anything. So it's almost like it's a game that you can't win, right? And the only thing you win are these whole bunch of insecurities that now you have to reconcile with and deal with in your life, right? If you are just joining us, feel free to comment in the chat. And if you're watching the replay, feel free to comment down below and like as well. But yes, you will never be able to fully reconcile that. So how does this manifest in our lives? How does this manifest in our lives as women? What do we do now as we emerge and have all these insecurities? Because we will never fully reconcile what is perceived as imperfection, what is perceived as not status quo, what is perceived as not ideal, right? And for a woman, the way we are wired, especially biologically, spiritual, and emotionally, we are always looking for security in all forms. So you want to fit in, you want to be admired, you want to have these things, not fully understanding human nature, which we will get into, that you will never fully have that. And instead of learning to be comfortable with never fully having that, we drive ourselves crazy. Okay? A lot of women are crazy. We start overdoing. We start doing the most. And in that, we also get frustrated with even having to do that. Now, how does overdoing manifest itself? Right? Overdoing manifests itself as doing more work than we have to, going out of our way to prove a point, thinking that you have to be everything and to everyone and everything. We play these roles, we play these parts. You're a mother, a daughter, a sister, a co-worker, a pastor, whatever, all these titles that we have, and feel like we run ourselves ragged trying to live up to the ideal of what all of those titles are, right? We run ourselves ragged doing that, right? And a lot of us resent having to even do that in the first place, right? You resent having to do that, but you rather still put yourself through the pain of overdoing, taking up all this work, all this labor, all this mental labor, all this emotional labor, right? Women take on a lot of mental and emotional labor that we are not paid for or appreciated for, by the way. And deep down, you know you're resentful of having to do it. Deep down, you know you're tired. Deep down, you know you're stressed, but you do it anyway because you do not want to be seen as a bad woman. You do not want to be seen as unworthy. You do not want to be castigated and put outside of the group. And this can be anyone. This can be in your family. This can be in your work, girlfriends, whatever the situation is. You don't want to speak up and advocate for yourself and your overall well-being because you have shame. You don't want to deal with the shame of people being upset or hating you for not wanting to do that. So you endure the suffering. You endure having to do the most. You endure the exhaustion. You endure the quiet anger that builds inside you. You endure not feeling appreciated. I think that's what the number one complaint in women relationships. They don't feel appreciated, because you're taking on the labor of juggling all these tasks so that you can maintain an image, because you really lack real confidence. Instead of really being confident and secure in who you really are and being okay with people thinking what they want to think, you are trying to manipulate other people's perception of you by taking on all this work, right? And not only inside, spiritually, emotionally, you're upset, resentful, and not feeling great about it. Physically, you are having issues with it as well, because 80% of all autoimmune diseases are what? Women make up 80% of all autoimmune diseases. And they have scientifically linked our emotions, negative emotions, and unprocessed emotions and trauma as the cause to these autoimmune diseases. Okay, listen, I am on a roll today, honey. I'm for the preach. Feel free to join my newsletter if you like this type of content at go.wewealthwoman.com to put you up on game. All right, because I'm just on the tip of the iceberg today and for the rest of the stuff. Now, you're insecure. You're manifesting that insecurity by overdoing, killing yourself, trying to live up to some ideal of a virtuous or a good woman that no one can ever fully meet. But society, your workplace, your family, your partner all benefit, some of them unfairly, from your extra labor, your emotional labor, you taking up that charge. Why? Because you're fearful. Another reason we lack confidence as women is because we are fearful. We have a lot of fear. And fear is what is keeping us from really getting what we want, right? So with the insecurities and overworking, I discussed the fear of being cast aside in the group, of not being seen as a good woman, of not being seen to an ideal, because we need the validation and the praise. We're addicted to that, right? And also with the fear, because like I said, women are wired for security. So that's security in all forms. So that's mental, emotional, physical, spiritual, all of that. We like to be secure, right? The shame that we feel and the guilt that we feel for putting ourselves first is tied to the fear of not being deemed worthy, of being a good person, of being a good woman. So instead, we would rather take on the burdens of that and suffer than to be like, you know what, I'm fearful. You know, people might not think how I want them to think of me. I might not have this image that I want to project. But I'm going to endure the discomfort of being fearful and just do what I need to do anyway. Right? So we won't take the discomfort of looking bad, basically, and just doing what we need to do anyway, or doing what would make us happy. But we would rather take on the discomfort of being miserable and pleasing others. You see how that works? You see that connection? All right. Hallelujah. Hashalaboya, do you see that connection? We would rather take on the discomfort and be miserable to please others so that we still look good and have a perception And they may not, and the other thing too is they may not even appreciate it. They may still think you're not that great, right? But then they get what they want from you. Versus deal with the discomfort of, all right, maybe, I might not be looked at as the best woman on earth, but at least I'm happy because I'm doing what I want to do. You gotta pick a struggle. You gotta pick a struggle. My advice for women is to be okay with things not always looking great. Because you can't really please people anyway. Not 100%. At least you want to ensure that you're going to get what you want. Right? At least you want to ensure that. At least you want to ensure that you are pleased and fulfilled. Right? You are living to your highest potential. You are loving yourself and loving life. Right? So how do you get that? How do you get that confidence that you need to embody to get what you want? The first thing you have to do in order to get that confidence is to understand yourself, right? Is to have self-understanding, right? Any great lesson, wisdom teacher is always going to bring it back to you. You are your greatest teacher. You already have all the wisdom that you need. You already have the divine intelligence within you, right? Your higher self is already leading you, right? Any teaching that takes you away from yourself is not grounded in truth, right? So in order to have the confidence you need to embody to get what you want, you need to understand yourself. Yourself is the key. Why? Because from yourself, learning yourself, you're going to know what you need to do and what you haven't been doing, right? For example, if you know deep down inside that I'm gonna do something small, right? If you know you hate cooking food, I actually like to cook, but every woman is not me. I know women who hate cooking now. If you know you hate cooking, you hate it. You hate doing that. But you do it resentfully. You feel like you have resentment in your heart to do it. Then emotionally, that is going to put you in a state of stress, duress, emotional unrest. And that is going to cause these mental, emotional issues within you, right? If you know that you hate your job, or even if you know you're working this job, I'm going to use a common example. You're working this job, right? You're in your career. You know you're on top of it. You know you deserve a promotion. You know that you're supposed to get a raise. You're supposed to get something, okay? Cue Denzel. You leaving with something. You know you deserve something. And that hasn't happened. Right? But you ignore that. You ignore that feeling inside of you being upset. You're not really taking heed or listening to that. Right? So you stay on that job, that career, upset, not getting paid the money you want. You're frustrated, and that's going to spill over in all other areas of your life. Versus, because we're coming back to self-understanding now, understanding yourself, and you're like, you know what, self, this ain't working. This is not working how I need it to work. So I need to make a change. Either I need to get a new career, I need to leave this company, I need to get a raise, I need to do something. Because as it stands right now, this does not feel good. But in order to accept that, that means you have to do something now. That means you might have to face some discomfort. That means you might have to talk to the boss and negotiate a raise, talk to HR. You might have to look for a new job, which means leaving the job that you have now to go into a new environment with new people that you don't know, right? The risk of that. You're going to have to face something that involves some kind of risk and some level of fear. And oftentimes women don't do that. Women don't negotiate salary. A lot of women don't do those things because it's uncomfortable. But like I said earlier in the video, you're going to have to choose what your pain and discomfort is going to be. Do I want the pain and discomfort of not getting what I deserve, or do I want the pain and discomfort of just having this uncomfortable conversation right now? Me personally, I rather deal with the uncomfortable conversation, right? But it goes back to what I discussed about that fear, right? That fear of feeling like you don't deserve this. Going back to insecurities, that you're not worthy of this. That you stay stagnant and you don't do what you need to do. You're stuck. Also, having these conversations, because I know we get indoctrinated. We face this. I face this. When you're a woman who speaks up, oh, you're difficult. You're difficult. You're high maintenance. You think you're all that. All of that is gonna come. All of that is gonna come when you actually put yourself first. People like you more when you are a doormat than when what people are saying, stand on business. And when you stand on business for yourself, you just want, in a lot of cases, you just want what is just owed to you, to be honest with you. And then you understand human nature, which is a lot of people are not trying to really give you anything. You have to negotiate for these things, right? You have to negotiate for these things. So what is the confidence you need to embody to get what you want? The confidence you need to embody is to really understand yourself, understand human nature, and understand that at the end of the day, you have to deal with the fear and discomfort of people not liking you and that image of you, and being okay with that. Being okay with looking foolish, being okay with failure, being okay with not looking like a perfect person. So, because once you get over that, you can start doing the actions that you need to do that will really level up your life. You can ask for the raise. You can demand respect in all of your relationships, your friendships, your romantic relationships, your co-workers, right? You can get out of your head. And like, I remember, I forgot who was telling me this. They didn't want to go to the gym because they didn't want anyone to see them struggling. And I'm just like, who cares if you look a hot mess? And that's what you're there for. You have to go through the hot mess so you can get to the finest on the other side, right? You have to get over how things look. Everything nowadays is a look and a vibe on the outside, but people are struggling because you're holding on to the image, the look, and the vibe more so than reaching for something better because you're afraid of how it's gonna look. And you just need to get over that, right? The confidence you need to embody is a mindset, and I know a lot of people talk about this, right? But it truly is a mindset, and it's a mindset of, you know what? I don't care how it looks. I can fail. At least I tried. At least I made an attempt to move my life forward in a way that matters. At least I was willing to do that than what 90% of the people out here are doing, which are nothing, which is, not even trying because they're so fearful that they may fail. Look, them, they don't even try. At least I did these things. And when I embodied that mindset, you know what happened in my life personally? My money increased. My peace increased. My looks increased because I was taking care of myself more. everything expanded in a more positive way. I was able to see who was really for me, who was really my friend, who are the family members I can truly rely on. I was able to make the changes necessary so I can live my life in a way that feels good to me, regardless of how it looks to anyone else. You know, there's aspects to myself that might look eccentric or crazy to other people, and I love it. And it allows me to radiate joy and happiness because that's how I truly feel inside. I go to the grocery store, I smile. Everybody knows me on a first name basis. When I meet people, I'm smiling because I'm genuinely happy. Most people are projecting happiness. They're not happy out here. It's stress out here, right? Because why? Because they're fighting to hold on to an image rather dealing with reality and dealing with the truth of how things are, which is a hot mess, right? So the confidence you need to embody is a mindset of I don't care how things look. This is how it need to be. And I'd rather deal with the discomfort of dealing with the fear and having these uncomfortable conversations or these taking these next uncomfortable steps to move my life forward than to deal with the discomfort of the stagnation and the misery of what it is now. Right? You need goddess level confidence. You need to be like freaking Teflon. People say whatever and it just ricochet right off you like it didn't touch. And when you get there, and when you finally reach that breaking point, because for a lot of you, you just need to reach that breaking point, right? You just need to wake up and say, you know, I'm sick of this. Something got to change. I don't care anymore. Once you reach that, that's when your breakthrough is going to happen. That is when you will harvest the confidence you need to embody. If nothing else, this last tip should get you there, right? A part of me, you know what happened when I really got more confident too, is that I realized how full of shit people are. I realized that. And I realized, and this is kind of bad, but it's okay. Like everyone has their own stuff that they're coming to the table with. No one who was demanding me to be or insisting that I be or do or be great showed up as a perfect person. And I mean nobody. Nobody on earth that is a human being walking on two legs or, you know, showed up in a way that was a perfect or ideal. Definitely nobody in my life. So once I thought through that and I said, you know what? Why am I stressing myself trying to demand perfection from myself? And nobody's showing up perfect for me. I said, you know what? I can relax. Okay, hashalaboya. I can relax. I can chill. I can relax. I can just do me. Okay, I'm very big on stay in my own lane ministries. I can do me and everything will be all right. That and also people who were, and I learned a lot of this lesson last year too, people who I had these images, oh, they were just a great, whatever they were in their field, a speaker, author, whatever, right? And I actually got to know them. And I actually got to see behind the scenes. And I was like, this person ain't that great. You ain't really doing that great. I'm actually better. And, you know, comparison is bad, but I did it. And I was like, oh, this is Wizard of Oz. All of this is an image. All of this is marketing. All of this, a lot of this ain't really the quality that is being marketed ain't what it is. And that relaxed me all the way as well. So in closing, I hope that you guys enjoyed this video. I hope that gave you a lot of gems. Please leave comments, like, and subscribe. Share with whomever you think will benefit from this great advice. Watch it again. Let it marinate. Let it marinate in your spirit, because there was a lot I said. Watch the replay too, if you watch it live. Be sure to follow me everywhere and sign up for my newsletter so you do not miss all these gems that I give you. And remember, the version of yourself, the goddess self that you want to be embodied, is on the other side of the fear. And you just got to pick a struggle. You want to be on the side where you get what you want? Or do you want to be on the side where you're frustrated and not getting what you want? All right. I love you all, and I will see you in the next video.